Can money truly buy happiness? Why do we keep chasing wealth when the things that make us happiest aren't for sale? Has consumerism replaced our pursuit of meaning with a never-ending quest for comfort? And if so, how can we escape the cycle of chasing after possessions to live a life that's genuinely fulfilling? All of that and more in today's video. Can material wealth ever replace the happiness that comes from living a meaningful life? While financial well-being is undoubtedly important, after all, it's hard to feel fulfilled when you're struggling to meet basic needs. Relying on money to fix our emotional or existential pain is a dangerous and futile pursuit. According to a psychological study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, accumulating additional wealth beyond what is necessary to alleviate poverty offers little relief for unhappiness stemming from other areas of life. No amount of wealth can fill the void of unmet emotional needs, fractured relationships, or a lack of purpose. In fact, an excessive focus on money can lead to stress, anxiety, and a growing disconnection from what truly matters: authentic relationships, personal growth, and inner peace. Yet, despite the insights of psychology, our culture has embraced consumerism enthusiastically. Why? As observed by Jean Baudrillard, consumption has transformed from a mere behavior into a fundamental mode of existence. It's no longer just about fulfilling our basic material needs. It's about using products and experiences to communicate our identity, social status, or personal values to others. Utility often takes a backseat to the social aspects of consumption, where what we own becomes a key marker of who we are. Advertisers, marketers, and cultural forces manufacture false needs, making us believe that certain products, lifestyles, or experiences are essential for our happiness and fulfillment. This ceaseless refrain of false promises creates a hyper-reality, an endless stream of images and simulations that offer a more compelling vision of life than life itself. But the truth is, infinite consumption cannot bring happiness. It only leads to a brutal cycle of dissatisfaction. The pursuit of wealth and status through consumption leads to alienation and spiritual impoverishment, as we prioritize external goods over internal fulfillment. Worse still, people begin to see themselves not as beings of intrinsic worth, but as commodities to be evaluated, consumed, and traded. This is especially true in the age of social media, where self-image is often curated and constructed, diminishing our authentic sense of self. The impact of consumerism on our mindset is profound. It can lead us to believe, for instance, that a higher paycheck can solve dissatisfaction we may have with our work. Yet psychology and philosophy alike reveal that money alone will never make unsatisfying work satisfying. As E.F. Schumacher observes, the essence of meaningful work lies not in its financial rewards, but in its ability to enrich both the individual and the community. Work that is inherently unfulfilling, alienating, or morally compromising will always remain unsatisfying, no matter how well it pays, because, as John Stuart Mill argues, meaningful work should cultivate one's skills, values, and potential. Daniel Pink, drawing from psychological research into intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, which I discussed in my previous video on the paradox of popularity, explains that fulfilling work is driven by intrinsic motivators, autonomy, mastery, and purpose, rather than extrinsic ones like money, bonuses, and recognition. While external rewards may boost performance temporarily, they won't address the underlying dissatisfaction we feel about the work itself. Devoting ourselves to unsatisfying work solely for the purpose of achieving additional wealth beyond what is necessary for the alleviation of poverty risks leaving us deeply unfulfilled. Here I'll anticipate a possible objection. Maybe it's true that money can't buy happiness once our most fundamental material needs are met, but can't it buy us peace of mind? What about the happiness that comes from financial security? Can't additional wealth buy that? Perhaps to a degree. The unfortunate reality, however, is that financial security bought by excess wealth is largely an illusion. As the medieval philosopher Boethius points out, fortune is a wheel that turns as it pleases, and its will is fickle. Seeking control over exterior goods is futile, because circumstances can always change in an instant. If we tie our sense of well-being to external possessions or the illusion of control we wish to have over our financial situation, we are setting ourselves up for dissatisfaction when the inevitable instability of life comes knocking. No amount of financial security can protect us from life's inherent unpredictability, so if we don't focus on the internal goods that truly sustain us, such as purpose, relationships, and self-mastery, we will find that when external circumstances shift, our sense of fulfillment crumbles along with it. The fact that wealth is necessary for our well-being may lead us to mistake it for the highest good. A dangerous error to embrace, since, as mentioned in my Living the Good Life video, one can fall from virtue by seeking lesser goods where greater goods ought to be sought. Yet reason readily demonstrates that money cannot be the highest good. Ancient philosophers from Aristotle to Cicero noted that money is inherently a means to an end, not an end in itself. Since it always serves some external purpose, namely the acquisition of other goods, it cannot fulfill the deeper, more meaningful goals that define a truly flourishing life. Okay, one might object, money itself isn't the highest good, but what about the things money can buy? That too can't be so. As Cicero argues, mere pleasure is inherently transitory and thus can't lead to true peace. For those who have goods, pleasure is fleeting, but for those who don't have goods, the absence of wealth brings about the painful perception of misfortune. Modern psychiatric research substantiates Cicero's observations. According to Richard Davidson's The Emotional Life of Your Brain, pleasure is associated with dopamine, while the satisfaction of deeper needs like connection, compassion, and meaningful engagement are associated with serotonin. While dopamine produces a short-lived feeling of pleasure and anticipation, it quickly fades, leaving us craving more. Furthermore, our brains eventually build a tolerance to dopamine, forcing us to seek stronger stimuli over time to achieve the same rush we once enjoyed. Serotonin, on the other hand, is linked to contentment and a sense of peace with ourselves and others, and its effects tend to be more long-lasting. The pleasures and comforts of wealth, therefore, can at best give us temporary dopamine boosts, but these will never provide the same level of satisfaction as addressing our deeper emotional needs. So, if superfluous wealth doesn't lead to happiness, does that mean wealth is bad? Not necessarily. While wealth won't aid us if it is used merely for pleasure, comfort, or the illusion of security, it can assist us if viewed as a tool for nurturing human potential. When used responsibly, wealth can enable pursuits such as education, art, science, and civic engagement. By distinguishing between what we need for our own material needs and what is extraneous, we can more effectively allocate our resources in a way that leads to authentic flourishing. Ultimately, the key to true fulfillment lies in prioritizing inner growth over the pursuit of external validation. We must practice mindful consumption, making intentional choices that align with our deeper values while resisting the temptation to follow fleeting consumerist trends. Gratitude, not acquisition, should guide our actions. And when it comes to money, we must shift our perspective. Wealth should be seen as a tool, not a goal. Instead of striving for more wealth as an end in itself, we should ask how money can support our true, more fundamental aspirations, whether that's personal growth, enriching relationships, or contributing to the greater good. By focusing on these more fundamental goals, we can discover a more sustainable path to happiness that doesn't depend on the fragile promises of external goods. What do you think? Can money buy happiness? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified when new videos are released. Also be sure to like this video so that YouTube recommends it to others. If you'd like to support this channel for as little as $1 a month, you can also become a supporter on Patreon. Links in the description of this video. While your material well-being matters, never forget, true fulfillment comes not from accumulating wealth or seeking external approval, but from aligning our lives with what truly matters, our values, relationships, and inner growth. I look forward to exploring further ways to live intentionally with you. Peace be with you. This has been The Philosopher.